Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blue Heron Hill. In the kitchen, it's where I've been spending a lot of my time lately with the harvest just rolling in nonstop. Let me show you what's on my counter. Right here, this is what we're going to be working on today. And I'll also show you, this is what I'll be snacking on while I'm working on the cucumbers. Hundreds every day. So non-stop, give me some energy. So what we're going to do today is make bread and butter pickles. I use the recipe out of the ball book with a few minor tweaks to it. My pickling cucumbers are coming in not so good, so I'm relying upon my daughter's exceptional harvest. They just keep coming, and she doesn't know what to do with them all. So Mom gets them, and I'm gonna make bread and butter pickles because I am nearing the end of my pantry stash downstairs. And that is the pickle that I need the most of to get me through till next year. So let's start with the process that I use for these bread and butter pickles. We're going to start off with washed, trimmed, and sliced pickles. I've washed them already. It's important to slice off both ends. You want the blossom end sliced off and the stem end. And then I'm going to use my mandolin and I'm going to slice these up into about 1/8 inch thickness. There's not much to this. Now you can cut these by hand if you want. This goes much faster for me, but you should be careful. It calls for 10 cups of sliced cucumbers. So I'll cut off, I just usually cut off the blossom end, and then I can hold on to the stem end. And then discard this into the compost pile. This is what you want, somewhere around there, about 1/8 inch, or certainly not too thick. I have my measuring bowl here. This is up to here, up to about there is 8 cups. So I figure right up to the brim is about 10 cups. So I'll be back when I fill this all up. All sliced up, and we're gonna put these in a giant bowl. So according to the ball recipe, it calls for onions. This is where I change it up a little bit. I have onions. These are the onions that, just in my last video, that my interns helped me pick and start to harden off outside. These aren't fully cured yet, but heck, fresh onions are just as good, and they're fine because we're gonna cook them up into this bread and butter pickles. I also put in peppers. Green peppers, if you wish. I like to get them when they're turning. This is a red pepper. I didn't leave it out long enough so it fully turned. It's not quite time for them to turn fully yet, but I'm ready to make the pickles anyway. Sometimes I'll go to the market. I will get an orange pepper or a yellow pepper or something like that. Just adds a little colorful spark to the bread and butter pickles. This fell off of a pepper plant outside, so I'm going to put this one in too. This is not a hot one. It's an Anaheim, very low on the Scoville rating. Gonna put that in here too, slice it up, and then I have a few cloves of garlic that are going to go in here. All of these are going to get washed and sliced real thin, just as thin as we sliced our cucumbers. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. The recipe calls for, I think, 4 cups of onions. So I'm going to put 4 cups of onions plus, in that measurement, my peppers. So when I get that done, we're on to the next step. That's about 4 cups. We've got the onions and the green peppers and the garlic. And they are going to go into the bowl with the cucumbers. After mixing it up, doesn't that look great? It looks, oftentimes we eat with our eyes, don't we? I wish I had a darker red pepper, or even an orange or a yellow. That would be pretty. So we're gonna put a half a cup of pickling salt. I don't have any, so I'm using kosher salt, which is an equal substitute. We need a half a cup. This is going to draw some of the water out. I'm going to put this in a cold water bath, cover it with cold water. I'm going to throw in a layer of ice cubes on top. We're going to let this sit for 2 hours. After that, I'll be back for the next step. Now we're going to mix up the liquid portion that we pour over our vegetables. So we're going to start with a large stainless steel pot, and it calls for white vinegar, 3 cups, Then it's going to call for 2 cups of granulated sugar. This is cane sugar, raw cane sugar. There we go, 1. 2 cups. We have 2 tablespoons of mustard seed. And then we are putting in celery seed, 1 teaspoon, and turmeric. This is going to give it that beautiful, beautiful yellow coloring. Now I suggest you use to stir something that you don't mind changing color. This is silicone, so it is not going to be affected. That turmeric is a very strong dye. And we are going to put this on the stove and bring it to a boil over on medium-high heat. Here we have our cucumbers and our peppers and our onions that have been soaking in this cold, salted water. Most of the ice is melted off. There's a few cubes left, which I'm going to try and pick off. But we're going to drain this. I'm going to try and remove most of that salt. There we go. We're going to just let that drain off as much as it can. I am bringing my liquid to a boil on the stove right now. And when that comes to temperature, we're going to put our cucumber pepper onion mix in that and bring it back to a boil, and then they'll be ready to can up in the jars. Here we are, boiling, and we're going to put our cucumber slices into the pot, and we will bring this back up to a boil. Don't put your face directly over a pot of very hot vinegar. It will clean out your sinuses in a way that you probably don't want happen. So, mix these in very well. Get the juices all incorporated all around. And we're going to bring this back up to a boil and then pack them in our jars. There it is. Those cucumbers had taken on that nice coloring of the turmeric, and even the onions have taken on some of that color. So now it's time to jar it up. I'm going to put the vegetables in and into about 1 inch of head space, from the top, and then we'll fill it with the liquid up to a 1/2 inch. Then we'll wipe our rims and put the lids on. It's important to debubble. Just a lot of air in and amongst those cucumbers. And after we do this, we'll adjust our liquid head space here. Wipe the rims with a little vinegar. I know there's plenty of vinegar in the liquid of the pickles, but there's also sugar, which prevents a very sticky problem. And look at that turmeric. Good time to check to see if you have any chips along the rims. If you do, then your jars won't seal well. Fingertip tight. This doesn't have to be pressure canned because of the vinegar in the brine, in the mixture of the vegetables. So we're just going to put it in the steam canner, and it gets processed for 10 minutes, which is just like a water bath. Same thing. I have to wait till my temp gets up to the proper level, and then I will do the countdown. I'll be back when we pull them out. I tilted my lid on my steam canner for about 10 minutes just to release some of that steam. and have it more acclimated to its environment. So we're going to, there we go. These look wonderful. Isn't that pretty? You can see the colors of some of the peppers. And I have 6 very nice pints of bread and butter pickles. Bread and butter pickles. Everybody should try it. My favorite is to put them on sandwiches. In our family, grilled cheese sandwiches. Open those sandwiches when the cheese is just melting. Slip a few of these in. Oh, so good. Just another thing to start stocking up my pantry shelves. More produce. I have tomatoes starting to come in. I have peaches downstairs, which I think will be the next video. So till the next time that we can go digging in the dirt or preserving for the pantry. Bye.